When's our debate, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
All this Jesus stuff is boring. You need a debate.
It's wonderful.
But it's not real.
Well, I know it's real.
No, you think it's real.
You don't know what I think.
You just said you said what you think. You think it's real.
No, but I mean, you don't know what I know.
Well, if you think it's something real,
I say I've experienced something, you say I haven't. Here you just say that.
anecdotal. You need something to show this.
What? Your opinion just now is anecdotal. Your opinion that
What's
experience is anecdotal is also anecdotal.
It makes no sense.
Well,
If you say something is true, you need to have to be testable to know it's true. You just can't say experience.
some things that are historical can't be tested.
When it's talking about a story, you say something's real now.
I must say that the
No, but you can be real now.
Well, it is.
Okay, so that's where you need evidence. Now,
You might need evidence. I don't know that's what I think.
you don't expect it to be
Convinced.
I do. If it's
No, you wanted to know truth. You really want to know God.
you know,
No, if you wanted to know truth, you would already know God.
and that means
God.
that means that there would be evidence of it.
There is that. I told you before. Like a priest, like I'm in the house. No, not really about creation is the evidence.
What
That's that begins.
Where?
Everything you see with the eyes on.
So
How many you have 136 million light systems.
what does that have to do with anything?
It has to do with inflection. What it has to do with design.
Complexity does not mean design.
That's it's not at all. No, sorry, but I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to argue with you. That's close to heart, a close mind. You don't and that's
I don't know what it is. I don't even know
I
what
don't
it is.
know. Just say
No, you tell me what it is.
but if you know the truth,
Tell me what it's not.
it is. You acknowledge what you're saying. I was thinking
What? It's okay. Oh God. What's your excuse?
you haven't figured out that there is no God.
Ah,
You haven't figured out that there is no God.
I see.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Where does life come from? Where does life come from?
What's that?
Does life come from life? Biogenesis.
What is asking my
Foundation.
question?
I mean, it's fact. What's the foundational law of biology? It's biogenesis. Life comes from life. Abiogenesis is called spontaneous.
Yeah, I know what abiogenesis is. Right.
Okay, so that's life coming from non-living matter. Have we ever observed
Something
that?
we're still learning.
Have we ever done this? Has it ever happened? No, it's never happened.
We're still learning it.
No, we're not learning it.
Yes,
We've
we are.
never been able to do it with our intelligence.
That doesn't mean we don't have the answers.
We don't have any facts. But what we do know is what you say what we don't know. I say what we do know is all observable life comes from life. Life comes from life.
That's
Where
what we
does
know so far, yeah.
come from? Where does complex
But that
information
doesn't mean that that's
Gee,
how it
where
works.
does complex information come from?
I'm sorry?
Does complex information
Just make your point. Don't ask questions.
come
Make
from
your point.
intelligence? No, I want to ask you questions. Where does information come from?
What do you mean, where does information come from? What kind of question is that?
That's a good question.
We obtain information because we have brains.
Right. Where does for instance, the information that is in the nucleus of every one of the 70 trillion cells in the human body is called DNA. It's
What is your point? Because I'm
the
not.
point is this: is when you find information-rich systems, I look at my MacBook. I know without having to meet the people who made it and filled it with software, I know that there was an intelligent being behind it.
It's because we know that it was man-made.
Well, we would know that it was man-made or intelligence-made, even if we didn't know, because intelligence and information-rich systems.
And it's separate from nature.
No, always
It's separate from nature.
observably, always. No, nature is the most complex information-rich
That
system.
doesn't mean it was created.
It absolutely does.
Complexity does not mean creation. That's your problem.
That's you keep
You think
saying
it's design.
that. You keep saying that, but here I want to just a comparison. You say the MacBook is obviously created by intelligent beings.
Right.
Is the MacBook anywhere as near as complex as one of the
It
cells?
doesn't matter how complex something is.
I'm telling you, complex and information-rich systems. You've already acknowledged the MacBook has to
There's
have
lots of things that are complex that are not shown to be designed.
Says who?
What do you mean says?
So give me an example of something.
Gee, the sun is pretty freaking complex. There's lots of things that are complex.
The sun
Lots of
is a
things.
huge, It is
The universe
complex.
is pretty complex.
Well, the universe is complex, but look at
All right then, but doesn't mean it was created.
well, it does.
Complexity does not equal.
Actually, where do the laws come from? The laws of physics that run the universe. Where do they
What do
come
you mean? Where do they come from?
Where do they come from?
What we observe, what we learn
But where do they come from?
in the universe.
The universe.
Yeah.
So the laws of the universe come from the universe.
Right,
Who
the universe
created
is
the
here.
universe? Where did the universe?
We observe.
Where does the universe come from?
Where does the universe come
Where
from?
every
The universe
every
is here.
effect has a prior cause. What is the cause of the universe?
Why would you
Every
think?
effect has a prior
Why
cause.
would you think we would have that answer yet?
I'm asking you. You
But
want me
what
to?
we-
No, you want me to?
So you
want
you
me
know
to
that we don't have the answer yet.
No, I do. I do, but I know this.
Okay.
What we know of all things that exist is that they had to begin to exist at some point.
That's our understanding.
That's what our observation.
But that doesn't mean it's always true.
It's our You're talking
Doesn't mean
about
it's always true.
observation. What we can observe. I'm telling you things we can observe. We
Okay.
can observe that complexity in information-rich systems always point to an intelligent source. We can observe
But
that.
we have
You
no reason
also
to
say.
think that
You
complexity
also
is
want to
fine.
know. What is the evidence for God? Well, the Kalam cosmological argument is evidence for God.
No, it's not.
That everything that
No.
exists had
No.
a beginning.
No,
Yes, we do.
no, it's not.
It is.
We
Okay, so if there was ever, what is the cause that caused all time, space, and matter to exist?
we don't know even if it needed it.
What do you mean?
It could have always been here in some form or another. We don't know.
No.
Then there's a lot about quantum mechanics we don't know about, but you're trying to use what we know now to try to draw a conclusion that would be wrong because you don't know.
If you were to, you also are trying to use what you know, which is very little bit.
No, what I
There's
know is to
all-
show that we don't have the answer yet, and we should not be using your answer until we know what the truth.
There's other ways to get information beyond just observation and scientific method.
Oh, really? What would
You
that
can't
be? What would that be? What methods would that be? 'Cause I would love to hear that.
Well, for instance, you
Yes.
can't quantify love and trust.
Okay. Now we're talking about emotions.
It's not just emotions. You can't quantify
That's not
love.
gonna
You
work,
can't
man.
quantify trust.
That's
you
not-
can't. How do you quantify logic?
That's all have to do with people's
But
emotions.
you're saying that. How can you believe what you're
We're
saying?
talking about.
How can you trust the reasonings in your brain if it's a product of chaos? If the
Order
brain,
can come out of chaos.
what's that?
Order comes out of chaos.
Where? Show me that.
All around
Without
the
any
universe.
information.
All around the-
all the universe is entropy.
How does any of this help you with your God assertion?
What's that?
How does any of this help you with your God assertion?
Because all of this tells us that there's a creator.
How so?
Because everything you see is complex beyond our ability
Complexity
to make.
does not mean design.
You keep saying that, but,
Right, because you don't seem to understand that.
but we can infer by design.
No, you can assume. You're assuming.
Normal, rational people
Nope.
look at that building.
Okay, a building is different than a tree, my friend.
Well, the tree's more complex, but
Right, but we know the building was created by
You're
us.
saying that the complexity argument doesn't fit because it's living.
Exactly.
It's accelerated. It's accentuated. Because,
Nothing to do with creation.
wait a minute. We can make a space station,
Yep.
but we cannot create out of inorganic matter a single functioning cell. So which is
It
more-
doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Why would it matter?
Because you're saying that beings made of 70 trillion cells with
I don't see why you bother to say that.
a brain that processes, they say, 400 billion bits per
I don't see why that matters.
Wait a minute, you're cutting me off. You're saying that the building obviously had to have an architect
Yeah,
builder.
that's correct.
It could have just happened by, but you're saying something far more complex. Oh yeah, that could happen just by accident. And there's
Accident. I don't think it's.
you're saying
Wait,
it would happen without design and without purpose. And then you keep changing your mind and
I didn't change my mind at any point.
so tell me, how is your logic fitting if something far more complex, infinitely more complex, the building,
I don't think it infinitely works, but okay.
okay, a lot more complex,
Okay.
that you say, well, we don't need the design.
Well, where's your evidence to show that complexity equals design? Where's that?
That's
You're
observable.
You're assuming
That's-
you're assuming that.
That's what we observe and know in life in general.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what we've seen before. We have to
But
show
everything's-
how do we know complexity equals design? Just because that tree is complex doesn't mean we designed it. You have to
Okay,
show that connection. You're
show
assuming
me-
that connection.
Okay, then show me.
No, I don't show you anything. You show me.
I don't have to show you anything. Who said you make the rules here?
Well, because you say that
If
it's
your brain, if you believe your brain is a product of unguided mutations, why do you trust the thought
Unguided
emanating
mutation?
from a clutch? If there's no intelligence, it's unguided, correct? Will you give
well, evolution has its own little system.
Evolution has what?
Its own little system to follow.
Evolution is a system. What do you mean it has a system?
Yeah.
Okay, what is the basis of change in that system?
Change is evolution is a change in the gene pool over one or multiple generations.
Through what? Through how? What's the
Through
process?
mutations,
Mutations. How
through
how
natural
often do mutations
selection.
happen?
What's that?
Very rarely. Mutations are very rare.
Well, they do happen.
What percentage are beneficial versus negative?
Well, the ones that are negative tend to not stick around. The ones that are benefit tend to procreate and create more.
Okay.
You really should take a class in evolution and science.
I've taken some.
Then why would you ask me these basic questions about it?
Because I want to hear, because it doesn't add up, even to them. I've debated
It doesn't matter whether it adds up. You have to show how complex
I
things
don't
are
have to
designed.
show. I don't have to show.
Well, okay, I'll tell you why you have to. You're saying that this God thing exists. You're saying it's real. So you have the burden of proof to show.
No, I don't have the burden of proof.
Yes, you do.
You have the burden of proof to show me how
No.
can this happen.
No. You're saying that God exists.
Let me give you an example of complex design.
You turn
Here's-
it up.
This is probably the most intelligent thing that's happening right now
How so?
because it's a Hebrew prayer of blessing. There's, and this is one
So
little
you
example.
can turn this off just for a moment, just for us to talk.
No, it's good for my soul.
Oh gosh.
There's one. There's an insect called the bombardier beetle. This is one example. I have lots of these. Bombardier beetle, when threatened, it has two chemicals in its abdomen: hydrogen peroxide, hydroquinone.
Just
Okay, hold on.
make your point.
Two chemicals in its abdomen. When it's threatened, they meet together in a mixing chamber with a catalyst,
All right.
and out comes these little acidic, fiery repellent balls out of its buttocks through these twin turrets that are 360 degrees rotatable, and they basically scare away the predator. So
Okay.
from an evolutionary perspective, I want you to take me through the process, explain the process.
Why would I have to explain the process?
Let's say we even start with an existing beetle, which is so complex.
So I'm supposed to know everything? Is that correct?
No, it's already.
Because I don't believe in a God thing.
Wait.
No, because I don't believe in a God thing. Supposed to know
This
everything.
is an example. It's not just this. You could use this same example and apply it to every living thing, because every living thing is far more complex than
Okay,
anything.
what does that have to do with your God?
It has everything to
How?
do, because you will admit that the building had a.
Just because we know it was created by people.
No, but even if you didn't, you would.
But we do.
Well,
But we do.
No,
But we do. We do know it was
But,
created by people.
but will you say even if we didn't know, if we weren't here? I wasn't here when they built it.
But we
I
do
wasn't
know.
here when the builders built it or the
But
architect,
we do know.
because it's
Because we built it. We built plenty of
it
buildings.
has flex systems.
It's much different than nature. Nature and things we created, artificial, are two different things.
Have a good day. You don't want to know the truth.
I do, but you can't assume that design from
I
complexity.
need to. You talk as though logic is a thing. Where
It
did
is a
come
thing.
from?
What?
Who invented it?
We use it. It works.
Who is we?
Us humans.
What are we?
We're humans.
What are humans?
Us.
Are you just a bundle of biochemistry? Is what I'm asking. Are you a soul? What
What-
are you?
what is a
Ted?
soul?
What is Ted?
What is a
I'm
soul?
not asking who are
I'm a
you?
human being.
No, man. What is a human being?
Us.
No, I'm not. How do you know I'm the same as you?
Okay.
Obviously.
All right. Now you're just being
No,
silly.
are you a soul?
Not, what is a soul?
Are you just chemical?
What is a
I
soul?
want to know. Are you?
I don't know what a soul is.
No, I want to know. Are you a person? Is there a person of a non-tangible being in you?
I don't know what non-tangible being is. What is that?
A spiritual being.
What
A
is
soul.
that? I don't even know what that is.
A soul is.
Nobody knows what. You don't even know what
answer
it
my
is.
question.
You don't even know what a soul is.
You don't want to go there. You're a good arguer, but you don't want to. You don't want the truth.
But truth is a degree to which a statement corresponds with reality.
Whatever.
You have to show that what you're saying is true.
Wikipedia. That's great. That's great. But who am I talking to?
A person,
talk to-
a human being.
Again, does that mean you have free will?
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't even know if you have free will.
Well, we can't go back and
But
change
you
ourselves.
believe
change our
that
decisions.
you're a byproduct, an accidental byproduct of accidental processes.
I don't think accidental is a correct word to use.
Unguided. Is that okay? See, you don't. wanna get to the
Evolution is
conclusion.
kind of guided by
By
itself. Not by who? It's
What, by who?
itself.
Itself.
Yes.
Okay, so the agent of change is beneficial mutations.
It can be, or it can be negative. The negative doesn't tend to last.
Okay,
The positive does.
But
And there's more than
what
just
we know-
mutations.
What we know that Darwin didn't know is that the cell, the whole cell, is built by a software program called DNA. It's the most complex
a software
No,
program.
no, it's software. It's the most complex, concentrated information.
It's not software.
It is software.
No, it's not software.
Oh yes, it's soft. It's information. If you were to write it out, it would be.
It is information, yes, but
Yeah, it's
not
very
in the
complex.
way we understand software today.
It's more complex
It's a
than
computer
anything we've
program.
done.
Right.
It's more complex than anything we've created.
I don't see. I fail to see the relevance of saying that.
It's very relevant.
How so?
Because it's information.
So what?
Okay,
So
so
what?
let me ask you how a mutation creates information that will be beneficial when most of what the information would be needed to make a major mutation in any
Mutations aren't really major. They're incremental over time.
No, Darwinian gradualism was disproven long ago. In fact,
Excuse me?
that Darwinian gradualism has been
So
rejected.
you don't think mutations happen?
Oh no, they happen, but they're not responsible for the changes in things.
What? There's more than just mutation in evolution.
Wait a minute. Stephen Jay Gould and his buddies from Harvard and all, they've long ago rejected Darwinian gradualism. The fossil record doesn't bear it out.
I don't see
Paul
how.
Patterson said, who wrote a big book on fossils and all. He said, we don't have
So you're trying to show your guys this by attacking science, and even though you're bad at it,
science. It's scientism. It's a
Scientism.
narrative. It's a historical narrative.
it's our understanding of how the world works. That's what
No,
it is.
it's when you say our,
Yes.
you don't speak for everybody.
Yes, I do.
You speak.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do.
Yes, I do.
So you're God.
When I don't have to be God. I'm just speaking that science means to know. It's how we know anything.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Science is the search for information. That
Exactly.
aligns with
It's
reality.
to know. That's what the word means.
we-
Science.
Okay.
And we use the scientific method because it works.
So, but science says that life began without life as a part.
Okay, just because we don't know something doesn't mean that you can insert your God and say God did it. That doesn't work that way.
Well, just because you don't know something doesn't mean you can say evolution did it. And that's all you ever say. Evolution did it.
Evolution is
I just
after
realized
life. Evolution is after life has been created.
let me-
No. Evolution is after life has been created, not before.
No,
Evolution is after life. It's how life evolves, not how life started.
but there's no evidence to support a gradualism. That's why I came up with punctuated equilibrium, which is a
Wow,
leap.
you really didn't have much of an education in evolution, did you?
Yes, it did. What is
You think
punctuated equilibrium?
mutations don't happen?
What is
You don't think
punctuated
you don't think
What is it?
natural
What is
selection
when you said I don't have an education? What is punctuated equilibrium?
What's that?
What is punctuated equilibrium?
Go ahead and tell me.
What? No, you just said I don't
I
have
don't-
an education. This was Stephen Jay.
Because you're
No,
saying
Stephen Jay
because
Gould
you're
was
saying
the leading-
ridiculous things about
Stephen
evolution.
Jay Gould was the leading evolutionist in the
So you're saying mutations don't happen.
front of Time magazine, Newsweek, all that. So you don't know his theory.
So you're saying mutations don't happen.
Now you're twisting my words. I never said microevolution is sense within changes happen within a
Oh, so you do understand changes do happen.
micro. We've never
Okay.
observed
Micro and macro are only for the classroom. If something happens at a micro level,
through that.
so
No.
that's why we have micro and macro,
No.
because it's for the classroom. If something happens at a micro level,
Darwinian
it's going to happen at a macro level. No. If something happens at a micro level, it happens at a macro level.
Says who?
Well, if you put a little bit of sand on the ground
That's
and
it.
you keep putting sand on it, it goes from a little
not
bundle of dirt
living. That's a
to a
small
mountain,
thing. That's not-
right?
well,
That's
that's-
called
that's-
small to
that's-
large.
small-
I'm just using
small
its
to large.
analogy because it seems like you don't understand
So there's a-
micro and macro.
No, I absolutely yes.
Well, then why would you say that you know about evolution? Talk about
never
and use
observed- we don't-
words we use in classrooms.
we lack the fossils to prove any Darwin even
Not
said,
everything gets fossilized.
even if we hardly have any. There's no
It's
transition.
because it's really hard to fossilize something.
And that's why Stephen Jay Gould came up with his theory of punctuated equilibrium. Was that one day basically a lizard laid an egg and a fully formed bird popped out. That therefore it would bypass any fossil record because it was a quantum leap.
Yeah, no,
in
that
the
would,
evolutionary.
that would
Oh
never
no, that's
happen.
what's accepted.
That would never happen.
Oh well, you need to study evolution.
Okay, yeah, all right, buddy. I'm not the one who's trying to deny it.
I don't need to try to deny it. It denies itself.
Oh,
Go back to my beetle.
That's why it's a valid science
Let me go
out of
back.
universities.
So here's another beetle, the adult blister beetle.
Why do I care about beetles?
It's
Why does it
a
matter?
little story. It's a story time.
I don't.
Beetle lays its eggs
Okay.
at the base of a certain plant. The larvae, which are called triangulins, they hatch, and they all in unison just migrate up to the top of the flower.
Okay, what's your point, man?
Okay, then they form themselves into the shape of a certain bee. Then that little charade of larvae, all triangulin,
What's your point, man? What does that do with a god?
they all form themselves into a shape of something they don't know what it is.
And then they emit the pheromone that attracts the male bee of that species. The male tries to mate with this charade of tiny hundreds of larvae forming the form of an adult bee.
Okay.
Tries to mate, sends off the sex pheromone to
Okay.
attract the male. And then they...
Let me guess. You think it's so complex that only God could have done that.
Absolutely. Where did that...
But you didn't even know what a God is. You can't even define it for me. So why? So do you really believe in a God?
It's the being who has personhood behind this.
That doesn't tell me anything about what a God is. It tells me nothing.
And, you know...
And that's a problem today. People say they believe in a God,
crucified
but they
Jesus.
can't define it. They can't. So you don't really believe in a God. You believe in an idea of a God.
He's called God the Father.
That doesn't tell me anything about it.
Creation.
What is it? What is it made of?
creator
Where
of
does it live?
Yeah,
How does it do the things it does?
He's the creator of all the earth.
You tell me what you think it's
He
done,
says
not
he
what
made
it
us
is.
in his own
I
image.
want to know what it is.
It's not an it. It's
I want to know what it is. It is a something.
okay.
It is a something. What is it? If you can't tell me, then you don't believe in it. You believe in an idea of it. You don't really believe in a God. That's the problem. Because if you can't define it,
Thank you, Ted.
you don't.
I really no, I don't believe. Thank
You don't.
Even though God's been in my life for 50
God has
years.
never been in
Thank
your
you.
life. Ever.
Thank you.
No
Ted.
God has ever been in
Glad
your
you're
life.
omniscient, and you know all about my life and my history.
I know much
Thank you,
about
Ted.
the world.
I
yes.
really am indebted to you, my friend.
You should. You should pay me for this, actually. You owe me for this education.
What does it say? Yeah. All right.
Back to mindless preaching
God bless
about
you.
stuff that doesn't exist.